All right, and good evening, and welcome back to the Dungan-Mott Music and Movie Podcast. Devin Dunnigan, and here with me once again is Mr. Stephen Mott. How you doing, Stephen?
Great, Brother Z.
All right, that's great. Well, we are here today to do a review of our album, actually, the first album, and as of now, the sole studio album by the Swinging Doors Band, Ode to Michael. This is pretty much me and Steven on many of the tracks, and then Steven himself on a bunch of the tracks as well. And I'm just going to toss it over to you real quick, Steven. Yes, talk about some of the background real quick before we get into it.
All right. Well, I had an album that I put together of our stuff before, but I didn't really like the setup. So this, like you said, this is technically the first album by us, studio, I guess you could say. Yeah. Um, it was pretty much recorded February to May of this year, and then released, or this version was officially released on May 3rd, 2020. And I guess that's about all for that, brother. And we some of these songs we recorded at Devin's house. Some one at my house, and then the rest we just or I just kind of put together from GarageBand. So that's about it, I guess, brother. If you want to get into the track listing, or you got anything else to say?
Well, I mean, I'm just kind of like you said. We recorded some at my house, and then a couple, one at your house, and then we recorded several on like you said, the Garage Band, and yeah, I guess you can get into the track list now. I don't have much
Yeah,
else to say.
we can get into the details of the stuff as by track, I guess.
All right, that's fine.
And all right, first we got one called Michael's Deep Cuts.
Oh,
Um, this is one I wrote, and basically I had the music, or I had a riff, and then I didn't know what to write about. So as normal, I just wrote about Michael Myers. So that's just what I did, brother. What'd you think of it?
oh, I liked it. I mean, that's the one thing listed to this. I mean, I was very surprised. At least to me, you can write some pretty good songs. I mean, come up with some cool riffs and actually write good lyrics. I mean, unlike me, with I could come up with a rhyme scheme, but that's about it. But yeah, I
Well,
liked it. It was a good
yeah.
track.
Usually when I'm writing stuff, especially when it's about Michael, sometimes I'll even unintentionally rhyme stuff. Like I've done that a lot before, but that's not really my main focus. My main focus is
Yeah,
just to try to make it fit and make sense. Is my main focus of it.
yeah.
And really, that's all I have to say about that one. I basically just came up with that one in a day because I came up with a riff. It sounded pretty good, and I got to say too that it was around the time that you referred me to listen to that Kiss album, and that style of song kind of it was kind of inspired by that sort of in that spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Uh huh. Yeah.
Because the riff, it was basically just the riff, and then through the whole song pretty much, and then just not many instruments in it, just pretty much in the style of, well, not really like Kiss, but it's just that's what I had in mind with it. So you got anything else to say about that one, brother?
No. That's pretty much it.
All right, brother. The next one is going to be one that we first. Let's tell the story about how we wrote this one, the Swinging Doors song. This is an
Okay.
interesting story. So Devin, you came up with the drum part first, and you just came up with a groove, and then you did a solo in the middle, and then ended it up, and then you told me to go put some stuff over it, and uh, that's pretty much how we did it. But this
Yeah.
version we recorded at Devin's house, um,
Uh huh.
and then so Devin did a solo on it. did a great job on the solo. And we just pretty much. And another thing I would like to add, I know this detail is kind of, it doesn't really matter if you don't really know music, but on the first version of it, I did it in F because it was just a more comfortable way to play it because I was playing it on the tablet. And on this one, I had to play it in E because I had to play the open string and kind of like do it open, so I had to do it differently. That's just a little detail I would like to add. So, is there anything you have to say about it, brother? Else?
Well, the drum groove, I was inspired by the Molly Hatchet track "Satisfied Man" off their 1984 album "The Deed Is Done," and that was pretty much my biggest influence with the kind of groove for the song. Um, I I was very much impressed with the way I played drums at through the solo and stuff in the middle of it. I really didn't think I could put together a decent drum solo for nothing, but I was very impressed with myself, and I mean, I'm not trying to brag or anything like that, but I thought I did pretty good I mean, looking at
I think
myself,
I think
big
you
my
did
own.
a I think you did a real good job on the original version and this version.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know if you actually practiced that, and you probably didn't, did you? It sounded like you practiced it though.
no, I just with the solo we did here, I just kind of went off the cuff and I just done something. I was playing at the time. I was playing it was a very much scaled down setup compared to what I usually play. Because I've got a 7-piece set of drums, and I had sized everything down, and I was only playing one a tom mounted in a snare stand, and then a floor tom and the bass drum and snare, and of course cymbals and stuff like that. But that was also another influence from Molly Hatchet. I didn't have the double bass drums to play with like the other guy did, but that was an influence on setting the drums that way. But they're set up totally different, kind of more. I call it my Zappa set because a lot of drummers I've seen, in particular Chester Thompson, played them all the way around, and that's the way I've got them. I've got my first floor tom mounted in a snare stand, and it kind of where it goes all the way around. But that's now I'm getting into drum talk. But yeah, I thought the Swinging Doors track was really good. You added bass to it afterwards, didn't you?
Yeah, I added. I think I did. Yeah, it seems like I added bass to the track after we recorded it. You
Yeah.
know, live well, not live, but we recorded the guitar and the drums together at your house. Yeah. And I guess we move on to the next one.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right, the next one also done at the same session at Devin's house. I guess I could call it.
We're gonna make a
Uh,
show live from Devin's house.
oh yeah, for sure.
Live from Daryl's house. Now it's live from Devin's house.
hmm All right, this one's called Pretending. Um, this was pretty much done off of a whim. We had never even practiced this or even thought about doing it before. We just know the song so well, and I had just learned how to play it at the time, so I thought it had a good groove to it and would be good for us to do. And Devin also, obviously plays drums on this one. I was very surprised with all these the 4 songs that we did at your house, how good it really went, especially with
Yeah.
this one because we had never done this one before.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about it, brother?
Well, I like it once again. I mean, it was kind of we started out the song very differently, of course, from the way Clapton did it on Journeyman and his subsequent, if I could pronounce it, man, my grammar's terrible, but his subsequent live version and stuff like that. It was originally started with piano, but we just started it with the chorus, kind of a cold open type deal, and I
Yeah,
think
that was mainly because we had never done it before, first of all, and second of all, because we didn't have the piano, and we just kind of we didn't. I could have done the intro part like he does, the lead part, but I just really didn't think it would sound right, so I just kind of did it like that. What were you gonna say, brother?
You kind of cut out there, but but I thought it was a very good version of the track. Me, I kind of when I'm playing drums, a lot of times when I'm playing stuff by other bands, I'll try to add stuff into the track that maybe the original drummer played. In this case, Steve Ferrone played on the original version. But um, basically, most of the time, I try to play pretty much to the way I try to kind of add my own spin on stuff. And I mean, I'm nowhere near the drummer Steve Ferrone is. I mean, Steve Ferrone is a billion times better drummer than I am. But I mean, I just kind of put my own spin to it as far as the drumming goes. But I just want to talk about real quick your singing and stuff. I mean, I thought your singing was pretty good on all these tracks.
Well, thank you, brother. And now that I'm glad you said that too, because it reminded me this song and another song that we recorded, Crossroads. We're going to get to that. I had to re-record the vocal track on these because I sung on it at his house, but you couldn't really hear me because I don't have a microphone there. So I pretty much just had to just redo. I mean, record it later. Actually, I was in the car because we went somewhere, and then I didn't have anything to do. I was sitting in the car by myself, so I just recorded this vocal track. That's an interesting story.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't even. I mean, from listening to it, I wouldn't have ever known that's what you did. I mean, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the story there. But anyway, so is that all you got to say about that one, brother?
Yeah, pretty much. Awesome track altogether. I mean, Clapton version and this version to me. Now you go to the next track.
All right, brother. This is another one that I put together called "Start a Fire." I wrote this one about a month or two ago, I think. And I had a thing in mind where I was trying to sound like kind of classic rock thing, or kind of like it has a 38 Special kind of sound to it. It sounds like 38 Special to me, kind of that inspired. That's kind of when I was writing the lyrics, it was kind of that's what I was trying to go for. But what do you think about it, brother?
Oh, I like it quite a bit as well. This is one of them, like you said, that you had written yourself. And like I said, once again, I think you're a pretty good songwriter. I mean, as for your riffs and structuring a song, I mean, I thought it was a very good song. Like you said, it kind of invokes a very kind of more classic rock kind of a sort of like a kind of loose type Allman Brothers feel, kind of. But yeah, I really enjoyed the track, and I listened to this whole album the other day for the most part. I just kind of the tracks I knew I kind of skipped over and listened to the ones I didn't. But yeah, I like this track quite a bit, and move on to the next track, I guess.
All right. The next one recorded at Devin's house. Wonderful Tonight. Which this one I didn't have to record the vocal track again because you can't hear my voice the best, but I recorded it with the headphones in, so you can pretty much hear it all right. So I just left it the way it was, and this one was also kind of done off of a whim. Pretty much suggested by me that we do it, so we just did it, and we did this one sort of just. I think Devin did a real good job because I don't think we've done this one together before this either, or since actually.
Yeah.
Before this, basically, on a lot of these, we might play a little bit just to get a feel for it, and then we just kind of take off on it.
Yeah.
So, all right, what do you have to say about it, brother?
I mean, you really pretty much said it best. I mean, it was kind of something. It's kind of I guess you could say an impromptu kind of jam. And you've done a different version other than the studio version. You'd added some parts from one of the live versions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But my the drum part on it, pretty much I was trying to do what Jamie Oldacre did on Slow Hand. I used to play it at the place that I play music at, or was playing music at it before it got closed down because of the pandemic. But I was playing kind of a straight up beat, but then I swapped over and I said, well, I play it more like the studio version, which has kind of got this kind of shuffle type beat to it. I can't really explain without sitting down behind a set of drums to show you, but um, it's kind of got a shuffle type beat to it, and that's the rhythm I use, and not many people after that I've of the versions that I've heard in Clapton's band, they don't play it like that a lot of times. They'll play it as a straight ahead beat, and I really like songs that you can do that with. You can kind of it can take different beats, and it's kind of it's an interesting kind of output, I guess is what you could say, toward the each song with the rhythm and stuff like that. But yeah, I like the version quite a bit, and I've played this song many times, so and heard it many times, so I knew it. But yeah,
And I have too. Yeah, I've played it a lot too. So that's probably why that one went pretty good. And
yeah,
also, the way I would describe that drum part is, it's really more like a triplet feel, isn't it?
yeah, sort of like that. Yeah, it's kind of got like a kind of a loose triplet feel to the hi hat beat. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not straight, but off and on. Yeah. Okay. So
But
go to the next track.
yeah, go ahead.
All right, we got Crossroads recorded at Devin's house also. Um, this one we had done before, I believe. We kind of this is one we pretty much do every time that we got together, I believe. And I put a lot of distortion on for this one, and I put some organ over it
Yeah.
afterwards, and some bass, and that's pretty much all I added to it. And I also, like the other one, like I mentioned before, I had to redo the vocal track because it wasn't loud enough. And other than that, that's pretty much it for that one. Pretty straightforward. I did the chord progression a little bit differently, but that's just because I thought it sounded better like that. But to you, brother, what do you think?
Once again, I think it was a very good version of the track. Something I had actually never played drums for on before, and I was kind of strongly influenced. You had sent me a version off of that box set we talked about in our news segment on my channel. But you had sent me that version of Crossroads and how Ginger Baker kind of swapped the rhythm up during the different riffs that Clapton played,
Mm-hmm.
and that was something very much I was trying to channel with playing it. And I liked how you added all the keyboards and the bass and everything to it. I thought that was really cool. And you said that you re-recorded your vocals there too.
Yeah, I did. I did the same thing. It had to do with pretending. Yeah, I
Okay.
had to redo it later.
Um, but yeah, that's a song that's been done so many different ways, so many times. There's the original Cream version, and I think they did it different ways other than that as well. And then you have like the Leonard Skinner live version, which is an awesome version of the song.
Yeah,
You
I
have
agree. I like that one a lot. Yeah.
yeah, and then Molly Hatchett's covered it on their live shows back in the day. And it's a highly kind of covered song, I guess is what you could say. And I liked our version quite a bit. Very like you said, you put distortion in your guitar, and it kind of made it a pretty heavy song for what it was on there. And but yeah, I liked it quite a bit. And this is the last one on here that was featured from Mine in Your House, right? My house, right?
That's right, brother.
Okay. And I guess that's pretty much all I got to say for that one. like I said, there's so many different versions out there. Clapton's done it so many different ways throughout the years as well. But go ahead to the next track.
All right, brother. This next one was recorded at my house with Devin on piano, a change of structure, and me on slide guitar. Um, Pretty much, Devin did a real good job on the piano. Uh, this was definitely off of a whim here. I just had learned how to play it on slide guitar, and I kind of did it just like Clapton did on a performance live at the White House. Is what it's from. I did it kind of like that, and I just kind of added my own little twist to it at times, and then Devin added the rhythm to it. Uh, so I guess that's pretty much. I think it went very well. What do you think about it, brother?
Oh yeah, I think it's a very good version of the song. Of course, I played organ, something I had never done really. I messed around with keyboards and stuff here and there, and I mean, I kind of know the notes on a keyboard, but I'm not proficient at it or anything like it. I can't play piano at all. I mean, drums is the only thing I can mess with, but I mean, there was a few mess ups on my part throughout, but and that I could tell of, but for the most part, I mean, I just tried to keep kind of the simple bass rhythm of the song with the keyboards, and I did a little bit kind of toward the melody of the song, and I thought I did pretty well as well. I mean, for me, I mean, you just told me the key of the song, and that's pretty much where I stayed on each of the keys that were of that particular key of the song, and
And you added some fills in there too. I noticed.
yeah, that's what I was talking about. I kind of added some feels of kind of melody in there some in places, but
Yeah.
yeah, I thought it was a very good version of the song. I mean, the slide it kicks it off for me right there. I mean, slide. I love slide guitar. I mean, if regardless, and I thought you did a very good job playing slide guitar on it. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that one. You can move on to the next track now, I guess.
All right. The next one, uh, next to the last track on the album, called "Bad Michael," the third one that I wrote off of this one, and pretty much another one where I didn't have anything else to write about, and I had the music, so I wrote about Michael. Um, so originally I was kind of aiming for, as music wise, I was more aiming for like a pop punk kind of sound, but then it kind of evolved when I started writing the lyrics. I kind of wanted it to more evolve into a kind of heavy metal more type of sound as far as the music itself. So that's what I kind of did. I kind of just added another part to it and just kind of made it a more distorted heavy metal feel. What I did, and anyway, what else you got to say about it, brother?
Well, once again, I mean, the lyrics is what got me. I thought you could write very good lyrics to it. I thought the structure of the song wise, I mean, you was talking about it. You wanted it to be kind of a more poppier song. To me, that's exactly what it is. Kind of a heavy pop track. With kind of more by heavy, I mean like a lot of heavier guitars and stuff like that. But I like it. I thought it was a very cool kind of Clapton esque, kind of heavier pop song, kind of. And I thought it was a very cool song, and I liked the whole riff and the guitar work you done throughout it. And yeah, that's pretty much. Of course, me and you are both Halloween fans, so that was something that kind of made me laugh at listening to it. But
Yeah, that was kind of the purpose.
but I like it. Like I said, I thought it was very cool, and I like I said, the riff. I think he come up with some pretty cool riffs and stuff like that. But I guess go on to the next track.
All right. Thank you, brother. The last track on the album was a very late
Yeah.
addition to the album. Freebird, in which I kind of did it off of a whim the other day, and I just learned how to play the solo somewhat, and so I just went through and recorded the parts to it, and I decided to take the bass off later because I sent it to Devin, and he said it sounded better without the drums, and I listened to it again, and I said, well, it probably sound better just without the bass and just kind of more of a just, you know, just solo type of feel, So, um, what'd you think about this version, brother? Did you listen to it again?
Yeah. Like you said, I had listened to it and I said, well, it seems to me more if it was a more kind of stripped down version of the song, it would be different, but it would sound to me without the drums, it would be a more atmospheric type version of the song, and I thought it was a pretty cool song, and I mean, Free Bird's a classic Skinner song. I mean, it's been it's another one of those. It's been covered by several artists. Molly Hatchet did a really good version of it back in the day, and I mean, Skinner's still playing it to this day. So I mean, it's had a lasting effect on everyone, on the whole music genre or whole music scene itself. But yeah, I thought it was a good version of the song. I mean, very like you said, kind of a laid back, kind of stripped down version of the song. And before we move on to final thoughts, I want to go back to the track "Start a Fire" real quick, and I have a drum solo at the end of that song. I just remembered. I had came up with a drum solo and put on it, and I had forgot to talk about that.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot to write it down, brother. Um,
Um,
and because what it was is we were in at school in Reckons class, automotive class,
yeah,
otherwise, and you had recorded this. I've been encouraging you to record a lot of stuff, like on my tracks that I recorded, and you recorded a drum solo track, like a pretty long one. I don't know exactly how long it was, at least
I
five or
don't
six
either.
minutes, but I kind of cut it short because I thought I wanted to include a lot of your drum work on the album. So I kind of added that on to the end of it because I thought it sort of fit. It kind of fit the groove, and I just kind of wanted to somehow work that in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and pretty much, I mean, it was me trying to make kind of a jazzier rhythm with the drums and kind of a jazz type feel to it, and that's pretty much all from that the drums and stuff that drum solo that I kind of remember doing. I mean, I basically just came up with kind of a more jazz based rhythm and basically put that together and made it kind of a drum solo, and then
I don't know if you thought it was a good idea to put it where I did or not, but that was,
no, I thought
I
it was
put.
I thought it was good. Yeah.
Okay, well, I just wanted to work it in there some kind of way because, I know you do real good drum solos and all, so I wanted to. And originally on the original album, well, not original, but kind of the next one, we I had three different drum solos of Devin's on here, but that was only because I had Swinging Doors that was at Devin's house. I had, the one after Start a Fire, and then I had another version of Swinging Doors, the original version, but I decided to take it off because, of the Free Birds I added, and I just kind of replaced it with that because it don't really make a lot of sense to have the same song on there twice, I guess. So that's
Yeah.
kind of the reasoning behind that too.
And that drum solo, that ending drum solo was called Bluebird, right?
Yeah, that's what you named it because that was the setting you had it on
Yeah.
the Garage Band, I believe.
Yeah, it was the drum setting, I believe, on there. But yeah, I think that was a good solo, and I like the kind of I like the name for the solo, Bluebird. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was at first I was going to make it a track of its own, but then I just thought about it and I was like, well, I don't know if it'll go good like on an album, just like 5 minute drum solo on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But I was thinking, I would just stick it on to something and make it a little shorter, just to
yeah,
just to for the heck of it. Because
Yeah.
well, mainly because on the track Start a Fire, I didn't add a guitar solo. I could have, but it's just when I thought about to do it, I'd already ended it and all, and I didn't feel like going back and doing it. So I think it needed to be a little longer. It was only like 2 minutes to start with, so I wanted to make the track itself a little bit longer. And that's mainly the reason I added on to that one in particular. And
Yeah.
as far as that also, kind of as the whole album in perspective, um, I didn't do a whole lot of guitar work on this. I mean, obviously rhythm and all, but as far as soloing, I did a solo on not swinging doors. I did one kind of on Rambling on My Mind, sort of. I did one on Wonderful Tonight. I did one on Bad Michael, Free Bird. And I didn't do, other than that, I didn't really add a lot of that to it. I just didn't think it would fit the music to just add like another 2 or 3 minute solo onto it, I guess.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, brother?
Well, I mean, for the overall album, I thought it was a very good album, and there was some unreleased stuff that was initially on the first version that wasn't on this one. Like there's a version, wasn't there a version of Holy Mother by Eric Clapton that was going to be featured on there at one point?
Yeah, we were messing with that for a while, but I decided it was just kind of I wanted to feature on this album in particular. I wanted to feature the things we did, who recorded in actual real life together,
Yeah,
because I think that sounded a lot better. And like you said, the online, not the online, but on the tablet stuff, it kind of has an echo to it or something. Ain't that what you
it
said?
has kind of a delay. Yeah,
Oh, okay, that's what you said. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to feature that stuff because I thought it sounded really good. Basically, this album is made up of stuff that we did together in real life and stuff that I wrote. That's pretty much the album, you know.
yeah,
And I've got the track listing in a certain order. Um, I guess because I wanted to start it out with kind of the heavy, well, not heavier stuff, but faster stuff, and then towards the middle, I got more towards the kind of slower, things, and then I got more into the blues stuff, and then kind of closed it out with the Free Bird, which kind of turns out to be fast at the end. So I
yeah,
went fast, slow, fast, I guess.
yeah. But I mean, I think that's pretty much it, ain't it?
uh, yeah, brother. And I think we're gonna try to make some more albums in the future if you want
Oh
to,
yeah,
brother.
oh yeah. And I mean, you find this album in its entirety on Stephen Mott's YouTube page. This will probably be, from what I'm looking at right now, this will be the very first video to go up on the Dungan-Mott Music and Movie Podcast YouTube page.
And
So
that would be fitting because it is our first album, and it should be the first thing that we review. Seeing as it's something we did.
yeah, but I mean, closing out here real quick. I mean, we've got today is May the 7th, so tomorrow we're going to record another review. I'm going to try to have this review up today, and then because I'm not going to have to do a lot of editing or anything like that, if any at all. But we've already got on my YouTube channel and on the Anchor podcasting platform, we've got the first episode of the Dungan-Mott Music and Movie Podcast, and we were reviewing the album Derek and the Dominoes, Layla and Other Sorted Love Songs. But we've also got another that's going to go up next week as well to kind of keep things going. But I'm going to try to have this review up today, and we're going to record a full-on album review tomorrow, hopefully, if everything works right. And yeah, I hope all of you enjoyed this this kind of album review of our album. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. You got any final thoughts, Stephen?
Um, I would just like to say that I edited this one a lot, but I don't think I'm going to anymore. I've said that before, but um, I think I'm going to leave it the way it is now as the first studio album by the Swinging Doors Band. If we haven't mentioned that before, our band name is the Swinging Doors, and it's basically just me and Devin. Devin on drums and me on guitar, and so far I've been the singer. But I've been offering him to sing some, but he doesn't want to play drums and sing at the same time, I guess.
Yeah, it's a tad bit complicating to do that. I can do it, but I mean it's a tad bit complicating looking at the words and trying to sing and play drums at the same time. But I'm gonna eventually hope maybe on the next album we do I'll sing some tracks maybe. Like there's a song me and you both know, and so we could probably I could probably do that track. But
I think I know which one you're talking about too.
yeah. But is that all you got to say?
uh, I had fun doing the album, brother.
Oh
We're
yeah,
gonna
I
and
did too.
we're gonna have to record some more stuff maybe through that. We got it out now to where I can send him a track and he can add some drums to it or whatever, and we're gonna have to record some stuff with that. Maybe an album to be released soon.
Yep. But
I'm thinking featuring a lot more drum soloage and drum shreddage by Devin Dungan the Great.
yeah. But that's pretty much all I have for this. And like I said, I'm gonna try to have it up today on our YouTube channel. This is hopefully going to be the first on our actual YouTube page. And like I said, go check out both of our YouTube pages. I've got many different types of reviews on mine. Some reaction video, news, all kind of stuff on the Devin Dunnigan YouTube page. Um, we've got a commentary that me and Steven has done. It'll be up pretty soon. We're talking about doing two at one time. We did one movie and then we segued right into another, but that part of the review got interrupted or the commentary got interrupted. So that won't we're going to do it again, and I'm probably going to edit that into that previous commentary, and that will be my season finale on the YouTube page. But that won't be up until probably 2 weeks from now, or a week from now, or something like that. But so I've got a whole bunch of different materials now. The Danger Zone reviews, so I'm going to take a break to focus more on this podcast, and then I'm going to eventually kind of um, go back into the whole reviews and stuff. Like I've got some in mind for next season. But what about you, Stephen? You got any upcoming adventures in your podcasting or whatever?
Yeah, I got a podcast going now called Michael's Horror Stories.
Yeah.
Basically, it's me making up stories, kind of on the comical side, not really to be taken too seriously. uh, and usually, it's going to end up Michael killing someone, with the exception of the one Devin was in which Devin kills Michael.
Yeah.
So, and pretty much, spoiler alert, Michael's going to pretty much wind up winning in the end and kill the people at the end. And I'm going to add about 10 or so videos on that podcast. And you can find that on Spotify and a couple of other things. But whatever you get your podcast at, I believe that's about all of my future endeavors as far as my podcast goes, brother.
Okay. But yeah, that that seems like that's it for today. We just decided to come on here and do kind of a review of our own album. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. And I'm trying to think of something else to say. I mean, with this whole pandemic out there, I mean, stay at home and be safe is the only thing really I can say. And I just thank you for listening to this podcast, and like the video, comment, subscribe. This will also probably go up on the Anchor podcasting platform as well. But I mean, like, listen, subscribe, share, and thank you all so much. God bless you. And as I say in my reviews, see you next time.